Hello everyone, I'm Robert Hisee. Most of you will know me, but for you that don't, I'm the UK's #1 unconscious mind therapist. And welcome to the MindKite podcast. Welcome back to the MindKite podcast. I'm Robert Hisee, the UK's #1 unconscious mind therapist. And I'm joined today with the new, I don't know, what the fucking new, underground.
The new and improved Danny Graft.
Now, what do you call it? Underground? How do I pronounce it? From the Manor, like the underground? What's like a good way of introducing it?
Are we keeping this tight? I like this one. It's in, didn't it?
Yeah. Fuck it, we're in with Danny Graft from the Manor. We're going with it, let's let it roll. Right, Robert Hisee, UK's #1 unconscious mind therapist with Mr. Danny Graft from the band The Manor. I went to see him the other week. He invited me down as a guest. It was a fucking amazing gig at Brixton Academy. They were waiting, was it 2 years to do it, Dan?
2 years.
2 years to get the gig out there because of COVID, obviously, and they absolutely rocked it. So if you haven't heard of The Manor yet, get on it. They're unbelievable. So first of all, Dan, thank you for joining us today, mate.
Pleasure,
I really
mate.
appreciate it.
It's a lovely gaff.
It's a nice little place, isn't it?
It's very nice. Yeah. No, I feel at home here.
So tell us a little about being at home. How was it for you as a child? How did the young Danny Graft get into music? What was it like at school for you? Was you a bit of a fucker?
I was, I weren't too bad actually. I was just pretty much how I am now. I was a bit of a wind up, like to have a laugh. I was, I loved football growing up. That was my first passion, and I was convinced I was going to be a footballer until I was about 8 or 9. And then my dad one day came in the room and said, I don't know if you've realised, but you're fucking shit at football. And I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right, I'm not getting picked, I'm fucking useless at football. So I said, well, I'll probably have to do something else. And then I wrote a little, a weird little R&B song. I think it was called These Girls. I ain't gonna do it because it's embarrassing. But yeah, I just started there and never looked back really. It's always like a hobby.
Was it a song then? Yeah, that was your first song. Was it a rap or was it more of a proper song?
It was terrible, man. It was like an R&B fucking. It was awful. It was awful. Yeah, it was just. It didn't start as rap, but very soon. Like I think the first one I got into was Coolio, Gangster's Paradise.
Oh yeah.
When I was about 5 or 6, we all had like, remember the NAF bomber jackets?
Yeah.
Me and my pals after school, we'd come back to my house and like dance in front of the mirror, doing Gangster's Paradise and saying I'm going to start a little rap group.
That's
that. Yeah, pretty much. That was my first little dalliance with it. But yeah.
And how did you get into like taking it from like just being a kid at school to, well, did you just keep doing it, progressing through your life, progressing through your childhood? How did you get to where the Manor started? Because you're a proper cult underground,
yeah,
you know, with a massive following, and it's just the people, you know, you ain't done it, you haven't gone like the other way, you haven't gone radio and put it out there, then become really famous. You've become famous on the underground scene.
Yeah,
and
we tried to get famous on the radio, it just didn't happen. Yeah, we tried that.
The
lyrics, mate. we tried to go radio without doing anything that works on the radio.
Yeah.
So that's where we went wrong. But no, it's always like I was always quite good at school. I was quite smart. Went to good school, went uni, and it was just like it was always in the background. So it'd be like I could be on a night bus home, and I'd hear someone put a tune on, I'd just start rapping. But I'm useless as well when I'm lagging. So I do like I'll run over like on the bollocks and I'll start rapping after 2 lines, I'll forget. And I'm just standing there like a cunt. And then my mates banned me, they said you ain't allowed to rap no more when you're boozing because you're shit. Basically. But yeah, it was always in the background, like me and John grew up together, best pals, did it all together, and then we met Scott just down on the lane outside our school going for a fag. He was spitting or something, joined the little grime collective. Did it again, just really a laugh until we left uni, and then we come out of uni, and it was just something easy to do rather than like I did economics, and I was gonna go and should have really gone into the city and done a job like that. But after uni, I was like, it was a time, it was time of the banking crisis.
Okay, yeah.
And they weren't like the city weren't like the ideal place to go into at the time. They weren't really hiring, and I thought, yeah, just give music a go, and it all started naturally. It was all like started. Just like from the bedroom, showing our pals, and our pals liked it. Put on Facebook, showing more of our pals. House parties, all going in a local, like performing in local pubs and stuff like that.
Something that true. It's like your first gig you went to, you put on in a pub, and apparently you turned up and you didn't even expect it. It was packed out.
Yeah, it was Mobbo. Yeah. It was our first like because we'd done a few little like open mic nights and shit like that, and then we did our first one in the place where we would go out, where we'd go to pool, where we'd go for a night out. So there was a lot of pressure on it. It was like all the people from the local area.
Was that the restaurant?
It was called the Beckenham at the time. It's now Kelsey House.
Okay.
This was in the glory days of Beckenham.
Yeah.
When it was Flux, the Beckenham, Rascas,
Yeah.
Bridge, friends of mine. You had a proper little strip. You could work your way up.
Yeah.
And but yeah, we turned up that night, and it was. I mean, it went down well. It probably didn't help because we didn't know until the night there was a limiter. So we did the sound check, and they said no, it'd be sweet later. But because of the council, there was a limiter. So when it went above a certain decibel, either the mic would cut out or the speakers would cut out. So half of the set was either no mic or no music. Like it was,
yeah.
And in the end, we realised it was probably better having the music than the bars. So a lot of it was just tunes and us shouting. But it was good. It went off like we had still to this day probably some of the funniest nights I've had was doing it in that Beckenham. It's the best gaff. It was just all our people, all our mates behind us. Like you'd have like they literally set up where all the chairs were, where you'd have the tables. We just had all our pals standing there. So you'd spit your bar, and you go back and sit down with your pals and have a drink and have fucking whatever, and you'd have a laugh. So it was I loved them. They were my favourite nights, 100%.
So you, John and Scott, how did it go from like just fucking about spitting on, little mic nights with your pals, and how did it move from that to like this cult following that you got?
I think it moved pretty slow because we were like.
Did you have any visions of creating it? Because I'm big into visualisation. I mean, did you ever see yourself, the band, getting big at any point, or did that happen straight away? Or was it more of a fuck
I'm into your line of visualisation, that sort of thing. Yeah, no, I'm into that big, and I come into it thinking, even like just personally, I thought I'm the best rapper around, and I can do it as good as anyone. So I thought, as long as we keep doing it, we're going to get somewhere. And like how far, I don't know, but I always did have that feeling. So we had it for like 3 or 4 years. We did like mixtapes, and it was very like underground, low level. Never really had a lot of industry support. We were not like getting involved in the music scene. All that. We stayed in our area. We had our nights out, and we were, like I say, we were slow with the process. It took a long while. We were labouring, grafting, whatever, and then it weren't really until we packed it in. We said we're done. We're gonna do one last album, one last gig, and then it all took off from there, and we got signed off the back of that in like 2016. So,
wow. But
it got to a point where at the time it was probably one of my lowest points, because I broke up with my missus at the time. Like it was my decision, but it's still a tough thing to go through. And then I left the area. I went and fell out with my parents at home, so I moved in with my dad, who was looking after me nan at the time, because she needed like caring and all that. So I moved in with her. I was skin. We quit the band, everything. I'm living in a different area now. I'm in Islington, don't know no one up there, and it was a mad time. And like we'd had a lot of little things where like we nearly got signed, and we got these promises, and I'd tell me nan, or I'd tell me old man, like geezer from Universal wants to sign us. Like, it was like fucking hell. We're throwing tenors in to try and get the fucking shop in at the time, like nicking my nan's pension to try and have a booze, like. And so at the time, yeah, it was like it went from literally down there to up there, and we got signed, and like it was mad. And at the same time, it's probably why I spent my money so quick, because I had fuck all.
Of course, yeah.
I had niche, and then they just put a fucking chunk in your bank, and you're like, oh mate, I've gone from being a tightest cunt, nicking drinks off people at the bar, to fucking I'm doing the rounds for everyone. I'm saying everyone back to mine. I'm buying everything every night. And it was good fun, and like I said, if it happened again, I'd do it exactly the same.
That's it.
Probably worse. If we want money, I'd probably do it worse.
That's what it's about, though, isn't it? It's about enjoyment. It's music.
That's what you get into music for.
Yeah, the freedom.
You don't get it to go and do some mad investments and all that. Like that's for later life. That's what I'm thinking now. But in your 20s, like
you're having some fun.
Naughty, innit? Yeah.
So you started gigging Beckenham and gaffs like that, and then how did you go from Beckenham into like the Forum and that? I mean, you started building up into Brixton Academy now.
It was around that same time we had the first gig, like first proper one was Islington Academy, and they've got 2 rooms. One's 200 capacity, one's 600. Or you combine them basically. No, sorry, one's 200, one's 800. And we did we put on sale, we just got a booking agent, top booking agent at the time, Craig D'Souza, and like Stormzy's agents. He just signed us on, did the pre-sale tickets for the 200, and we sold it out for the pre-sale. And then we had discussion. I can't remember which one of us was like, nah, let's just stop there. And I was like, we've just done a touring, like, on the pre-sales. Let's move it up. Let's go for the fucking 800 here. Let's try and push it. And the agent was saying the same thing. He was like, I think you boys have got this. Like, go for it anyway. Put the 800 on. Boom. Sold straight out. And it was off the strength of that show that we got signed. Because the geezer, Nick Huggett, who first signed us, he found like a Dell. He was like, top. I love the geezer. He's class. And he come to that gig, and on the strength of that, they signed us. So it was, in the end, it was the right decision. But it's moved from there. Like, we've gone through the stages to bigger and bigger venues. We went from O2 Islington to Coco, then to Electric.
Oh, wow.
Then it was Forum, then the Roundhouse, and then Brixton.
Yeah,
so
I used to go through them gaffs years ago in the 90s, watching a lot of them places you say.
Yeah.
Watching all the indie bands, you know.
Yeah. And it's when you get like gaffs like Coco and Electric, I've been raves there. So when you go and do your gig there, it's a great feeling, man. It's fucking spot on.
When you're the headline act.
This is it, yeah. The only thing I don't like, and I said this to my brother, because he showed me a video, like, he goes backstage, he runs around the gaff, like, goes where he likes on a night, but I was like, the annoying thing is, when you're in the band, especially when it's like all your mates and all that, they get to go to the pub midday.
Yeah.
Then they go somewhere else.
I used to be in a band, I was telling you earlier, and I remember in the 90s, we'd be out gigging, and you go from one gig, then the next day you'd be gigging somewhere else, Friday, Saturday nights. And because I was like the front man, lead guitar, like when you get lagging, your fingers, your coordination goes. So it ain't like you've got a choice. Like if you're just singing, sometimes you got half a chance of having still doing a good gig. But if I was lagging, I couldn't, my fingers wouldn't work. So I remember having like, I'd only have like 2 beers maximum. And we built up to, we was always the headline act, so we went on to 11. So it's fucking bollocks, everyone's lagging. You get on stage, do your gig, everyone's at the nut, and you're still fucking jaws are swinging. They all want to talk to you, and you're like,
even if you have a few drinks on stage, you sober up.
Yeah, because you sweat it out,
you sweat.
Then when you get off, we want to do is have a couple of beers quickly, just to get yourself in the vibe, and everyone's on you, they're chatting.
Everyone's already done your ride up.
Yeah, the fuck.
You get back there, you ain't got a beer. Like, does me nut, and I'm like, oh man, it's one thing you never get to do, obviously, when you're the guy in the band, is have that day out that all you lot have.
Yeah, they're on the way to the gig.
This is it. Of course, they'll never get you at the
flip side. Do you ever go to gigs though yourself still or not after?
I mean, a few festivals, obviously, last couple of years, I can't remember the last fucking gig I went to. No, I can't. I think only the festivals we went to in the summer.
Mine was yours, right? If you went to that, right? But no, it reminded me of I ain't been to a gig like that for ages. It was like the Happy Mondays gig back in the 90s. Yeah. We went there. Everyone was just partying, happy, twisted, you know, fucking buzzing. It was like the nearest I could put that gig to was the Mondays. Yeah, that's the nearest like that sort of.
I never got to see him, but I can tell that's a great compliment.
Yeah,
and that's again what I've always loved.
What do you think about in the industry though, Dan? I know it's all fun, like everyone's out there now, and there's all this Mandy and Cat and all this shit going about.
Yeah.
How do you think is it affecting the music scene at the minute? Do you think it always has done? But what do you think about the drug world now? Because it's changed since my day. It was just probably ease, coke, and a bit of a puff. Now there's about 50 fucking drugs out there, and these balloons are like fucking Coco the Clown sitting there with balloons. Like, what's it all about?
I don't really get the balloon thing personally. I think it's mad. It's like do a little thing where you do another one straight away. What's the point? I don't know. It's a weird one. Like obviously, I remember years ago, when we went out Ibiza, and it was like I've been out Ibiza a few times before, and obviously the scene changes each year, the style, the DJs, whatever. But we went this one time, and every rave we went to, I didn't hear a vocal. At any rave, I was like, what's going on? It's just dark tech.
Yeah.
Just dark tech everywhere we went. Like, we see Carl Cox, he dropped at the start of it, it was so like, that 2 people tracking this lovely little vocal, and I was like, oh, it's about to go off here. Waited 5 hours to hear another vocal, and I'm like, everyone's just fucking mandying out, waiting for something nice to cling on to. And I went to one geezer, and I went to this engineer, because we left the rave, went to another one, I went, mate, is there anywhere that ain't just playing dark tech? Is there anywhere where there's a bit of melody going on here? He's gone, no, not this year, mate. He said, Jamie Jones and all them boys, they've Ket's taken over the island. And it's took a dark turn. It was like the whole season that time.
Oh, mate,
just went naughty. But this is the thing, like we went Glitterbox a couple of years ago, and it's like baked, cheesy fucking thing, but it's the happiest rave you'll ever go to. And that's what you want. When you're on the pills and everything, you want to be singing along to something nice, uplifting vibes.
I ain't been to raves for ages, but I used to like going to Clockwork Orange, and they do the old room.
I ain't been, it's meant to be quality.
I always like going in the old back in the 90s room. It's all the old house music, like brother, sisters. Everything's vocal and everyone's just dancing. It's the right good vibe, you know what I mean? But I think you know, it's weird. I mean, this drug game in a minute. I mean, a lot of that ketamine I find fucking weird. Everyone saying all tranquilizers, but it's the modern day and these fucking balloons. But saying that, you know, cannabis, which people go, it's only a bit of puff. I know everyone loves it, but it's got 40% of psychosis in the Western world is caused by cannabis. It does more mental health issues than a lot of cokeheads and stuff.
Because it's more THC than CBD, isn't it? That's the thing.
Fucks their nuts up,
mate. Fuck me. Years ago, I used to I only really puff now. I ask people for shit puff. Have you got a shit bit?
Yeah, because it's still probably super gear from
but it's got fuck all THC in it. When it's a shit bit, I'm like, well, that's sweet. I can smoke that properly. I ain't gonna start spinning out like.
I don't smoke nothing. Obviously for years, but when I was a kid and we used to puff, it used to be a bit of hard gear. You put it in a joint. Yeah. You know, a bit of, and that was it. A bit of weed. But it was like fucking tire stick was the best you could get. Yeah. Remember that skunk #1 coming out, and nowadays these kids would fucking laugh at it. But it's so mentally fucking, you know, it's so dangerous.
I know.
It ain't just a bit of puff anymore. It's fucking class.
It can send you left. It can send you. You can fuck your head up. Or
some people can. I've got mates. They're not people I know they can do it. And they don't bother. It don't sort of affect them. But a lot of people, it does affect. You know.
Same with all drugs. I think. I know people who can't have a sniff. I know people who can't have a sniff, and it sends them when they can't speak, or they're miserable for 3 days later. I know people who have a bit of ket, and it just spins them too much, like.
But, you know, I find it. I mean, it's all good. You know, you're young, people do it. They get to university, but do you think there's a cut-up point people should take it? Because the realism is, everyone says, "Don't take drugs," but fucking everyone does at some point. Yeah. Not everyone, but you know, a lot of people, majority of kids will at some point. Is there a point you think they could shut up? Like, where they should think, right, enough's enough, or should it be used just recreational every few weeks, or? Because I'm
having this debate with people a lot.
I've got pals, mate, who fucked their lives up from it and had everything. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And you can get some people who just have a little bit here and there when they party.
It's how it does with yourself, though, isn't it? It's like I know a lot of people who, I mean, depression's is a lot of shining light on it at the minute. Of course, it's terrible, but then I know so many people with it, and you'd almost bet your house that the cause of it is the drugs.
Well, a lot of these celebrities that have, you know, taken their own lives and things, a lot of it is probably not 100%, but a lot of it is probably not helping them. Yeah. Is they're sticking that gear up, you know, because they have one night a good night, and it's 3 nights a downer, and you know, if you are depressed by something happening in your life, it's the worst thing to fucking do because, you know, Scotland has got I think Glasgow, East End of Glasgow has got the highest suicide rate in young men. Yeah. And they all do it on a Monday and Tuesday, majority of them.
Is that it?
So that proves that it's the weekend and we're going out getting on it. Then they're going to jump off the bridges. They're jumping off loads of bridges.
Even when I'm music, so I ain't got to get up Monday, Tuesday. But I'm still see Monday and Tuesday. I'm a miserable cunt. Yeah. And it's mad. That's why I've curbed it over the years, and I've realised like it's just simple things like going to the gym, going for a run. You feel better, and your situation. You must obviously know this, but it's like. You can deem your situation you're in at any time. You can twist that in your head to be great or bad, as much as you want to be. You can be in a great situation and spin it and make it look bad. Yeah. And drugs are only going to send it that way. Yeah, they're good when you want them. You're going to be up, you're going to go, I'm the bollocks, I'm the king of the world, I'm going to take the world over, whatever. Well, and then on Tuesday, you're fucking...
Well, my pal Dapper Laughs, he stopped drinking, stopped doing
everything.
I've
seen,
Mate, and to watch him, his vibration... You know, he's lifted, he's buzzing all the time, he's happy, he's gym, he looks so good, he's got in shape, his work is flying, and it just, I mean, I never see him ever, you know, I'll never see that fucking stopping boozing, did they? It was like, no. But mate, you know, it's just a prime example, and you never hear anyone say, listen, but I don't tell anyone what to do, it's up to you, but, you know, what I'm saying is, you never hear anyone say when they stop drinking, that, you know, life's got shit. Yeah. They always say, like, mate, it's been so much better since I give it up. Yeah. Or if they do it like, I only drink once or twice a month now, I feel so much better about it. Yeah. And I think that's the thing, you know, there's no generalisation, everyone's allowed to do what they want, you know, but it's understanding the pros and cons. If you take drugs, you come down. You know what I mean? That, like, people go Mandy for one night, you're going to pay the price for 5 days. As long as you're willing to pay the price, don't fucking cry about it.
I would say you're stealing a bit of your future happiness.
That's you definitely are.
Nicking a bit of that.
For one day, you're taking 5 or 3.
And that's why I weigh it up now, and I think... Especially when you're younger, you ain't like when you're in your early 20s, whatever. You ain't got the pressures. You ain't thinking about life. You ain't thinking, where am I going? What am I doing?
No, and that's the problem. The problem is why people take so much drugs is that, you know, the schooling system fuck us up. If you give me a 5-year-old kid and they go, Yeah, what do you want to be when you're older? A little kid would go, oh, I want to be a spaceman. My little boy remember going, he used to like ice cream. So he went to me, he was about 4 years old, Dad, I want to be an ice cream man when I'm older.
Yeah.
But it made sense. They thought of something they loved to do.
Exactly.
And then they visualised having it. But then you go to school, at the age of 7, they go, stop drawing on your books, right? Stop being that, when you're at primary school, like infants.
Stop having dreams, innit?
Yeah, stop daydreaming, get on with your work. This is how you spell, this is how you write,
stop being happy,
this is how you shave,
and
you know, and then the old school system teaches you how not to make mistakes, right? So you're going through how not to fuck up your life. So the time you leave school at 18, you go, what do you want to be? Like my little nephew, what do you want to be? I don't know, I want to Robert. They're in fear. I might be an accountant, like my dad. Like, do you like maths? No, I hate it. What the fuck? You know, they've lost everything. They're scared of making the wrong choice of career. They're scared of making the wrong choice of girlfriend. They're scared of making... And so in the end, they ain't making no choices. They can't see anything. They don't leave school with loads of like visions. It's all like fear of, oh, I better start work.
I've heard this as well about, because you're seeing as well, I mean, I've read about it, I don't know it personally, but about how, I mean, I guess it's a little bit of a product of social media and how a lot of youngsters are coming through, they don't like going out and clubbing and all that, which was our social thing and things like that.
Well, pubs trade's fucked, isn't it?
Well, this is it, it's all gone, and they're not as used to that social interaction because so much of it is online. And it's creating... people who are a little bit more sheltered, just a bit more worried in general about the world and about what they're fucking doing, where their place is in the world. And I think we were lucky because I had no fears really at all. My only fear was get a degree and I've got a fallback here. Yeah, and then I can go and do what I want. Like I was shitting it. My degree, I thought I'd flop. I blagged a 2-1, right on the cusp. I fucking pulled it out of the back. I did more work the last 2 months than I did for 4 years. Yeah, but I got it done. So when that happened, I was like, all right, now I can just go. I'd probably been better off getting no degree because then I would have gone, all right, sort of fucking thing. But again, like I say, I had fun. I had fun through my 20s and I fucking...
It's the main thing, isn't it?
This is it,
about people sometimes forget about, you know, what they brainwash do. First comes love, then comes marriage, then comes a baby and a baby carriage. Yeah. You know, as soon as a baby's born, if it's a little girl, we're giving it it can't even wipe it so nice, it's got a napkin. We're going, there's a dolly. We give it a fucking baby, we program it to be a mum. And when the kid grows up at 16, she's pregnant, mum and dad go, you little slapper, you've ruined the family, how dare you, get rid of it. And you think, hang on a minute, you've been programming her to be a fucking mum before she can even talk. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It's mad,
like, not, you know, why, it's like, there's a chance out there to do what you want and find some passion. And, you know, I don't go to work, I do everything every day. I was at Mirror the other day and someone went to me, I actually see you doing well, mate, you're so busy all the time. And it played on my mind, I don't know why. I went back to my sisters, I went, Vic, see so-and-so, and they said about this, and I see someone else, they said I'm busy. I'm thinking, I don't know at all, I'm not busy. What it turned out to be, whilst I analysed it, it's because I'm a creator, and I create all my, you know, like now I'm doing a podcast today. I'm going to work with a world champion tonight, backstage with her before she fights for the WBO and the ranking. You know, and then I've got my the manifestation journal that's up there, it's just come out, and I've got my retreat in Spain. So I just don't do the same thing. That's all it is. So like one day I'm doing this, one day I'm doing that. But I don't feel busy. I do it at my own leisure. I'm far from busy because I love what I do and I've created it. Yeah. So I don't. It was weird that was for me that day. It was only a few months ago. But you know, most people do the same thing. And then they come home.
And they're actually busy because they've got to do 9 to 5 every. Like you say, you can do it in your time. It makes it look
like I'm busy. You can do different stuff, but I'm still doing I ain't doing 9 to 5. I do about fucking 40 hours. I don't stop. I don't quit work. You know what I mean? I can sit. But I could go. You know, come let's get some music out. Sit out and go until 3 in the morning, just playing the music, and then going into that side.
We're doing that as well. Exactly.
But you know, there's so much out there for the world for us to that we can create. And people forget that we're creators, you know. Yeah. We create everything twice. Everything gets made first inside the mind, then it gets created outside in your reality.
I see you say this on the video
all the time. I put it across. Everything gets made twice. People listening to it a million times. First gets created inside the mind and outside in your reality. Yeah. Look around the room, see if you can find anything that never started as a thought, except for what comes from nature and the earth in its original form, and you're going to find nothing. So, you know, people have got to go in their minds. They have this self-talk what they want to do. Yeah. And that's the problem. If you keep self-talking, I want to do this, I want to do that, and I want to be this, you have to get a pushing feeling. Yeah, it's like willpower. You got to push yourself to the gym. You got to push yourself to get working out. You know, it's not the same thing as creating a vision that you get a pulling feeling. Yeah. So when you create a vision inside your mind, your chemicals release inside your brain into your bloodstream as the person as what you see inside your mind, because the unconscious don't know what's wrong, what isn't. So as you close your eyes and you start to visualise, you start to like, if you visualise yourself now at the O2, how many is that old, 20,000? Yeah. Right, imagine you create a vision inside your mind, yeah? Just close your eyes and try it for a quick, yeah? Create a vision. You're up there with your top off like you always are, jumping like a lunatic.
I can't see myself with a top one to be.
How does that look then when you see the crowd looking at that sort of people, the lights go?
Yeah, it's
How
good.
does it feel?
I'm in good nick as well. Yeah, it's good.
That's what I'm saying. So all of a sudden, right, you start to smile.
Yeah.
You start to feel happy. When you create thoughts of the future and visions of the future, you will always smile. Your cortisol, on a brain scan, every human being that does it creates a goal. We see the cortisol levels drop by 30-40%. But most of us are looking at the past, changing the past, working out some shit that happened to us that you... What the fuck does it matter?
Trying to rejig it. Like, it's like,
done.
yeah, it's done.
Cry about it again then. Cry about it again, then what are you going to do?
I stop myself now, because I used to do it all the time, and you can go around and pass and go...
We're trained to do that through the schooling system. It's all about how not to make mistakes shit. So we have to look back and try to, then we take the problems from the past, we throw them in the future and think, right, we'll stop that happening. And that wasn't even going to happen anyway. But we're thinking, we create these worst case scenarios to protect ourselves. But we don't need to protect ourselves. They're not lions, tigers and fucking bears out in that. We need to create ourselves. This is what human beings are. Look at a crocodile 2 million years ago. It was in the swamp, kill, sleep, eat, mate, reproduce. It's doing the same thing today. We've created planes to go higher and faster, further than a bird, cars and trains to go faster than any cheetah, boats, submarines to go deeper, further than fish. We're creators, and you're a creator. You create your songs, you see yourself there. Muhammad Ali used to create poems, What would you think people think of him? They think he was fucking freestyling. He was a gangster rapper. No, he wasn't. He was a fucking boxer, but he'd create his poems. So when he was in front of the TV, he had it all visualised already. You go, I'm so fast when I turn the light off. I'm in bed before the room's dark. He wrote all that stuff, memorised it because he had a vision of what he was doing in the future. And if you look at all the greats like Elon Musk, Richard Branson, Steve Jobs, what do they call them? Visionaries. Yeah. And this is where people lose their vision. Sometimes we get to a level. This happens in music, in bands, this happens in football. My podcast with Jamie O'Hara is a really good one because he talks about how he used to visualise, but no one taught him, he didn't know what he was doing. Yeah. And then when he got to Tottenham, he visualised playing for Tottenham in the Prem every day. So it's just daydream, like you could call it daydreaming. He went, I've done it every day of my life. He said, when I got to Tottenham, I lost my passion a little bit. Because I weren't training to make the team, I was training to play Saturday. I had no vision. He went, I started going out, birds and drinking, Daniel Lawyer fell for a table and, he had to carry her out, and then Harry Redknapp got the hump with him, and then he got injured and he fucked his career up. He said, I should have been visualising getting 30 goals that season for Tottenham. I should have been visualising playing for the England A team, but I never raised my fucking standards.
And then I went to that level.
So he come to my
I think we did that a bit with the music. We did that getting into the deal. We got to the deal and just thought...
Yeah, because now you forget to raise your standards. But then what do you think, are they going to do it all for you? No, you've got to still be the creators you was. You guys visualise
doing more. When you got a label around you, otherwise you go left. Yeah. And we just, what ends up happening...
the problem is sometimes the managers and start taking over, and you sort of stop visualising a little bit because they start telling you where to go, and that's a bad trap to get involved in. You still got a part of it. You still got to see yourself like
I'm like
at
that
Wembley.
I switch off though. The minute I've got too many people involved in what I'm doing, and I feel like almost the idea I've got is now being shared around with too many people, and it's being pulled in a direction I don't like. I'll go bollocks. Let me think something else.
Yeah, because I'm a proper. Ain't in alignment with what you're visualising. Nah. This is the problem. If you have a vision, sometimes you've got to, people got to get on that vision with you. You can't have your vision. Then someone changes the vision. Then someone. Maybe you had a bit of artwork, right? You got Picasso started, fucking sketching a bit of a drawing. And then Rembrandt comes on and throws all fucking his artwork over it. Then Salvador Dali comes and splashes his fucking, he splashes all over it. And then you've got a lump of shit sitting there. They're the best one of the greatest artists in the world, but you've got a lump of shit. Because, Picasso's fucking Picasso. He sees his image, he's got to create it. And sometimes, which is hard in music, you've got to sort of either learn to create it together, get on the same page as the person that's written it, try to see his vision and work with him. Yeah. And that's what I see in most things with football and boxing. That Anna Rankin tonight, man, she's worked on her mind so much. She's visualised, she's meditated. We do hypnotherapy every week. I'm going back to stage tonight to her to do some hypnotherapy before they warm her up at 7. I've got to go there. So I'm looking forward to that. But it's going to be I'm looking forward to tonight to see her create. But I'll be very shocked. I mean, the woman she's fighting has got a better knockout record. She had 20 fights and she's got 10 knockouts. But the way Anna's worked at this fight, her strength, she's hitting fucking. I want to fucking get in the ring with her. And I think she can stop her.
So much of it fighting.
6 rounds. I think first 6 rounds, I'd be shocked. She's hitting so hard.
It's so much of his mindset though. If I make a bet on a fight, I look at I try and analyse him in the build up. Yeah.
When you know what the difference is, right? Conor McGregor said it. I can visualise in times of struggle. That's what makes champions. When Tyson Fury's out on the floor and he can get up and still see himself as the winner, not even a question.
Yeah.
Gets up, dances, and comes back and still fucking gives that. You know, he won that first fight, didn't he? It was easy. He got robbed completely, but you know, he got up and still beat him up. Yeah, that's what makes champions. When in times of struggle, anyone can visualise a brand new car if you've got £1 million in the bank, Dan. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you ain't got a pot to piss in, it's a bit difficult. But that's what makes you successful. Being able to visualise in times of struggle. You know, if one of my dad passed away, but if another member of my family passed away, I'd be crying all day. I'd be gutted if I love him, yeah. But I'll still visualise at night because I understand that we're still creators and we have to have that little 30 seconds of each vision just to put it in your mind these days. You miss a day, you're going to start slowing your life down, and it's easy for life to kick you in the bollocks because life is like a boxing fight. It's going to knock you down time and time again, and it's going to fucking win, right? You're going to die. You know what I mean? It's going to win.
We all lose.
But what makes life is getting up and going again. So kick me in the bollocks, hit the penny. Right, fuck you, life. I'm getting up and going again, and that's what makes you successful. You know that is it. The word endurance. That you know that will to keep going forward. But you've got to have a goal to keep going.
See it with people who've had fucking or semi-terminal illnesses or things like that. It's the same thing. It's the will that gets you through it.
The vision of staying alive.
Yeah.
I've got a client I worked with stage 4 cancer.
Yeah.
You know, she's fucking doing amazing, mate. They give her like so many months to live, and you know, we worked on the mind, visualising, and she didn't have a clue at first. And once she got it, mate, it was like magic. And in the first lockdown, she ran a marathon in her front room live on Instagram. And Max but like, she's absolutely doing amazing. And she's like, I don't know, it must be 3 years in there. Yeah. And she's still like, she ain't going nowhere.
Well, he was like an uncle to me. My best mate's old man got basically told he had 6 months, like around about 3 years ago, and he ran, I think it's 3 marathons since then. He was going out to Africa doing charity work. He's got a charity out there, the African Village Fund, great charity. And he was just the things he did, and I just thought, you've done more in that period. He's gone now, God bless him, but he done more in that period, and it's so inspiring because he done more there than I'm thinking I've done in 10 years when I've got my health. Yeah, and I'm thinking it's just
this is the problem with us human beings. Yeah, we wait till some bad crisis to happen or death or illness before we see the vision to change. Now, I got a lady the other day I spoke to her. She had breast cancer. She had her breast off, yeah. And she said when I was laying down for the operation, when after I had the operation, they said like, you know, all the radiotherapy, whatever they done with her was all clear, and she got the all clear. She looked at her life. She thought, I started looking at my life in the future for the first time, and I thought, if I could live another 40 years with this prick, her husband, right? He calls me a fat slag. You know, he's a arsehole. She went, you know what? Fuck this. She sacked him, right?
Shit.
She's now got a geezer 10 years younger. She started her own company, earning more money than her husband's ever had, right? And now she's done parachute jumps. She's doing marathons. Shit. She went, I'm a different person. She went, I'm living my life. She went, you know what she said? I'm so glad I had cancer. Yeah. She went, cancer was the best thing that ever happened to me. Because I'd have lived another 30, 40 years and died in that same shit life I had. I never had a life. I lived the same day. She said, the best thing I had was cancer. So, you know, people at home, don't wait for fucking pain or suffering or trauma to hit you before you see the light. Start practicing now as if you're about to go, you know, like visualise that think if you wasn't a case now, what would you do in the future? How would you like your life to be? Like
I've had it as well. I've had it with mates who, like, I know 3 geezers who've been in a nick and come out and they're cake owner. They're doing better than any mates I know who've been sitting around fucking in freedom for how long, and sometimes you do need that little wake up call or that life changing event, or just to be put on your ass.
You do, but you don't have to. That's what
you don't have to have it happen.
People don't realise you don't have to. If you practice visualisation, you don't have to go through that trauma.
No.
You can do. You can wait for a time or something. That it might never come bad enough for you to change. That's the problem. You know, fucking remember you're a creator and move forward. You know. That's what's so good about music, isn't it? You know, you're creating these things in your mind. You get these visions with the words. Like, have you heard that song with Notorious B.I.G.? It does like a robbery in it. It does the 2 voices. Give me the loop. Yeah. When I listened to that song back in the day when it came out, I could see the movie in my head. Because the way he does it with the 2 voices, one's deep and one's high pitched, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's just that is what music can do to you. It can take you away and take you to places that, you know.
Yeah, where you don't exist. Yeah, I mean that's always been our sort of thing. We did a lot more when we did the old school hip hop stuff in our early mixtapes, and it was just painting a picture of a lot of what's around us, but also things that could happen around you as well. Most of, I mean, to be fair, we've done a lot of true to life. Like a lot of our stuff is fucking literally stolen from that weekend. Like that's happened here and there and whatever. And that's why it was always easy to write, because we just had constant inspiration around, especially me. My house, just like to this day, I mean, it's calmed down now, but to this day, I can't sit in my kitchen. We still barely lock the back gate, but I can't sit in my kitchen without looking over my shoulder. I think someone's going to come in and start a party. Like every 5 minutes, it was just like, you never know who's coming in the gap.
Someone just walks in.
Yeah, this is it. And I lived with my pal for a long run as well, and it was like, he'd come out with some stupid shit, and I'd just go, "That's fucking hilarious, mate. That's going straight in this church."
So,
but yeah, so it is. But that's what it is. It does. It paints like movies in your head. It does. It's true. That's what the best music does.
It does, 100%. And what's the future for you, Dan?
That's a big
What's
question.
Danny Graft doing in the future? What's your next step?
Well, you know what?
You've got another gig coming up, haven't you? First of all, we've got the
Troxy. We've got the Troxy end of the month. That'd be good. It's more of a rave. We're going to perform, but also we've got the gaff till 3. So
what's a blind? That's
just
going to go off after.
Yeah, it'd be good. I'll be straight off stage. I want to perform early so I can get straight in the mix. I'm trying to get us on as early doors as possible.
Brilliant.
And get involved. But yeah, we got that. We got another one in Brighton. That's the last one of the year, and then I'm gonna go and do a few months.
I'm going to come to that gig, by the way. I've got I was a big fan of my mate Joe Long and Colin Francis. You know the DJ. He loves your
Colin
stuff.
Francis. Yeah, he does Bridge Bar a lot. Yeah. I've never met him,
he's
but
going to come with us. He said he wants
to come. Is he coming? Yeah. Oh, blinding. Yeah, quality.
And obviously Ted over there loves it. Got me into you guys, didn't you, bro? Yeah.
Teddy boy.
But so you got this coming up, and then you don't know what's after that.
Nah, like, you know what? I like the thing of visualising, but also I like a bit of mystery. And I'm going to visualise my end goal.
That's what you got to do. And
I ain't saying what my end goal is, but I'm going abroad. It's the first time in life where I've got none of the responsibilities. I've got some readies. I can just go out, have a bit of freedom. Just want to go out travel a bit, see some things. Because I've been. It
inspires you as well. Sometimes you get, you need that inspiration.
Especially after lockdown, being so much in that one place, and I've been in that already.
California, me and New Year. I'm going to go February, something like January, February, something like that.
California.
Yeah. Go out there, a bit of Beverly Hills. I'll show you about, and I would have guessed. I'm going to set my retreat out, the holistic retreat. I want to take it out to California. It's in Spain, Marbella at the moment. So I'll have you on there.
Cali was on my list. I want to do a bit of Canada as well.
Yeah, Canada's nice.
I want to do Vancouver.
Vancouver looks beautiful, yeah.
I've never seen a place that don't look real. It's
The
crazy.
good thing America is you can get them little flights. Once you're there, they're quite cheap to nip about. So you could go, but if you go LA, you might as well go Vegas if you haven't been Vegas before.
I've been Vegas. Got to go back,
You might as well if you're there, for a couple of nights. But
for quite
California's so much, for me, I love it. So many things to do. You know, I could sit there and spend 15 quid on a coffee looking at them silly women walking up down with their dogs in around bag. I was sitting there, fucking Elton John walks in Gucci next to you. It's just mad. It's just like being in the movie, do you know what I mean? I just love the place.
And the weather.
And it's so healthy, like the vibe on the beach in the mornings when the sun's all pink and setting. It's just my favourite part of the world, mate.
I ain't done Cali. I need to do it, man.
It's unreal. It's fucking unreal. But you know, the good thing is when you fly that way, on the way back, I always get little flights. I go Vegas, and I went on the way back. I got a little connecting flight to Chicago for a few days, then New York, because then you're breaking the time barriers. Have a few days in New York, you're only 6 hours from home. It's sweet. Things like that.
Well,
I'd like Canada. I'd like to do Canada.
Vancouver. We met some geezers from Toronto. Funny enough, I went away with the missus.
It's one of the safest countries in the world, isn't they? Canada.
Canada is safe, Vancouver. I was looking at even like. I mean, even
Where's Drake from? He's from out there. Only Drake's from.
He's Toronto.
Toronto.
Yeah. We met. Like I said, I met on my holiday. Like walked into the first little beach bar with the missus, and I wind her up all the time. Every time someone spots me, I give it to her like fucking bollocks, whatever. And anyway, we walked in this gaff, and I've gone to the barman to get a drink, and then like these 3 Canadian kids, I started chatting to them. They were doing a bit of travelling around Europe, and they've come sat down with us, had a little drink, and they were talking about football, and I've gone. We're talking about England and whatever and thing. I've gone and Grealish, and he's gone to me. He's gone, "You heard that Jack Grealish song?" And I've gone, "You're winding me up, you cunt." I've gone, "Nah." And he's gone, "That Jack Grealish, Heavy on the Evening." I was like, "Nah, you're fucking winding me up, ain't you?" And he's gone, "No, man, I think I've gone. That's me." And they're going, "Fuck off."
No way.
That ain't you. I've gone, "Mate, it's me, you cunt." I've had to show the picture.
Shut up.
On the Instagram and all that, yeah. They loved it.
That's brilliant.
Hey, Bert's just sitting there like, not again.
Not again.
But yeah, I want to get out there, man. Canada seems good vibe.
What would you give anyone, right? Any information to the young people, you know, listening in who want to be into music? What is it for you about performing that, you know, gets you? Because you're on stage, you're like a madman. You're running up and down, like you're proper performing.
I don't remember any of it either. The minute I get because I can get nervous before a gig, 10 minutes before usually. I don't like building up. I don't think too far ahead. So, but 10 minutes before, I can be like, I just want to get out there. I feel like I'm going into a boxing fight. I'll be sitting there shadow boxing backstage. And then the minute I get out there, I'm sweet out and I'm just like, it's like switches in your head, it's nuts. Yeah, go on, what advice would you mean?
What I mean is, Dan, what advice would you give the youngsters who are in the music game?
Yes.
What do they need to do, you know, to be motivated to get where you're going? What do you think, what does it take? Because,
what does it take? Well, it takes, first things first. I mean, the hardest thing in music is dealing with the knockbacks, same as anything. It's like,
I love that, man.
It is dealing with the knockback. You've got to be prepared to be told your shit and fucking think. Like, for me, the worst one is not even like, I don't mind if a random don't know what I'm doing. I don't mind if a YouTube comment or whatever. But if I send it to one of my pals and they'll just ignore it, they won't say shit. And I'll go, I wake up the next day and that stuff. For about 6 months, I was sending voice notes to my pals. And I didn't get one reply. And I was like, have I lost it? I'm fucking shit now. You know, what's happening here? But also, with your pals, they're gassed at the start. But once you reach a level...
They get used to it.
Yeah, it's like, well, fucking hell, all right, mate, you can rap. Like, well done. Like, who cares? Like, fucking hell,
I've been following you for 10 years, mate. How much more support do you want?
Yeah, do you want to see some of my work? Like, fucking hell. But yes, it's dealing with them knockbacks. I mean, in terms of the things.
It's so true you said that. I mean, when you think about these actors like Brad Pitt and all these other actors, I forgot who it was. Might have been Johnny Depp or someone. One of these actors once I see him on telly, and they were going, everyone goes, oh, it's all right for you. Look how good it is. You've got the big houses, the nice cars. But they never see the hundreds and hundreds of auditions that I never got. They never see all the times I got on a bus and travelled 2 hours.
They said, audition would be hard.
You ain't going to get anywhere, son. You know, you try something else. He said, the times you get told that stuff and people look down the nose at you and you travel and you do hours, you spend your money and you don't get anywhere, you keep going. You went, people don't see that, but that's really where it comes. I mean, Sylvester Stallone sent that Rocky 1 off. I think it was a 10,000 production company before he got it signed.
Shit. That is his perseverance.
And he visualised being in the film. He got offered fortunes at one point, like 500 grand, which was a lot back then, for the movie. And he said, no, I want to be in it. So we don't want you in it. Like, and then he had one company, after 10,000 companies, if it was over 10,000, one of them went, all right, we're not taking the risk. Right, we give you, say it was like 80 grand. Right, we won't take the risk. You can be in it, but you know we're only going to give you 80 grand for it.
Shit.
And he went, all right, sweet, because he said I couldn't have lived my life knowing I won that movie because it was always written for me to play a part. I could have sold it, but I would have never been happy in life. Yeah. But that's what it takes, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, you got the knockbacks. I think as well, one other bit, I'd say, because it's something, I mean, I weren't even sure of, I mean, I've never been sure of it, but I think you've got in an ideal world, you want to know where you want to get to. Like I say, you want to have an end goal, because we sort of just did it off the cuff. So we didn't know what music we wanted to end up making or whatever. We just rolled. A lot of times, look, some things happen naturally like that. But I think if you want to be an artist and you want to try and get to the top, then have a clear goal of what you're trying to achieve, so that you don't. Like I say it to, like, there's a couple of young artists I talk to and like give advice to them, whatever. And I'm just like, mate, don't rush out this thing just because you wrote it or whatever. If like, don't rush out an R&B song when you're trying to be Liam Gallagher. Do you know what I mean? Because have the plan and have the state.
Know where you're at.
This is it. And also, I mean, just planning in general, because I mean, a lot of times you can do something amazing, but if you do it with the wrong timing, like if you bring out a summer banger in winter.
Well, to me, like, timing can be like, I love your song Ibiza. I think it's one of I just love the vibe, the original. But then when I heard the one you done at Ratscast, the acoustic, it was a little bit slower. Instrumental, mate.
Better
to
song,
me, it was just unbelievable. It was.
But take this for
I
timing.
like both of them, but that was just that little bit of time. Just give it a little different vibe.
But get this as well for timing in general. So that release, that Ibiza tune come out. We'd made that song a few months before we got signed. At the time, it was our second deal with Virgin, and we got signed on the strength of it, but they put out like a single first to build it up. And then that song got released, remember was it Euros or World Cup now? World Cup, when we had Croatia in the semi-finals.
Yeah.
So the first premiere of that song was during the game, so no one's listening to it, first and foremost. And then we went out. So we had to then promote that record that no one heard the night before, the day after England get knocked out of the World Cup.
Oh, for fuck's sake. Talk about bad timing.
Mate, like, it was just...
That wasn't a good plan,
Nah,
was it?
and it's things like that, and you just like, mate...
Timing's crucial, isn't it?
Of course it is, yeah, luck and timing, them sort of timing. If you time things right, you're more likely to get a bit of luck.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I'd say that, plan out that, be prepared for the fucking knockbacks, and then first and foremost, back yourself. Back yourself at the end of the day, like... If you believe it, like, look, you might be shit, but you can see shit people go far. Because they back their fucking self.
They back themselves, yeah, they've got
you
that
see
vision.
great people go nowhere. I've met so many fucking producers, singers, whatever, and their hard drive is full of some of the greatest songs I've ever heard. You just played me an absolute fucking blinder.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you've gone for it and you've done the music thing, but
yeah.
it's like, you see people who just sit there and shit themselves and don't ever put it out. And most of the time, like I said, because you're worried about, it's not about what randoms think, but the people around you. You're scared of what your mates or your mum or your fucking
what they
dad
think.
thinks.
Yeah.
Like,
fuck it, you got to have your vision yourself. Because if you're not seeing yourself through your own eyes, you're going to see yourself through other people's eyes. That's what fucks people up. That's why that vision is so important, who you are.
Yeah.
When I started doing it with therapy, mate, I'm from Birmingham, my mates were going, I see, woo, like, hypnotist, what's this silly cunt about? What are you doing, you div? That's what I used to get called up, when you fucking did, and all that, yeah? And I was like, mate, I was like, fuck you.
I'm doing that now when I see you.
I did that, I used to throw the piss and that.
I can imagine in Birmingham.
But now they send their girlfriends, their wives, their things, I see, well done.
Yeah.
But they see now what I see back then.
Yeah.
And that's the difference, you know. You've got
Well,
to
I
see
think it's
yourself.
mad, because I was like, when I first see your therapy, and then early when you said you're from Birmingham, I'm thinking, my first thought was, how did you get into it? And in fact, how did you?
Well, that's a long story. I was in sales. I always enjoyed the mind, but I never knew it was the mind. So when I was in sales, I used to listen to a guy called Zig Ziglar, and the way he used to teach you how to get people to buy and close deals, and it was really fascinating, different types of strategies, and you know, it was like he was doing reframing work, reframing an area, so there was no office there. He'd go, see this area, it'd be lovely for an office on top of the stairs, you know, and look at the window view you got. So the guy wanted an office, so they wanted an office there, so we had to create a part of the house, and it was just good how I used to enjoy it. And then I ended up working for the Flemish. I got headhunted by the Germans, and then the guy out there called Thilo Weinemann, the governor, was into neuro-linguistic programming. And he taught me techniques on the road when I was studying. But I'm from Bermondsey, you know, I had fuck all as a kid, and I had my little boy Bobby, another boy Jude at the time, and I thought, you know what? I want these kids everything I never had. So my dad used to promise to take me to Disneyland in America when I was a kid, and they took me fucking nowhere. My mates were going to Spain. I wait till you tell them to take Disneyland. I went Bognor. It was that fucking lot. Right? So, but when I had my boy, I thought he's going to fucking Disneyland. So when he was 5, they both went to Paris, Disneyland, and when they were 12, 11 to 12, I took them to Florida, you know. So with my bonuses and that, I was just like, right, that was all my life was about, you know. It was all about finding, you know, it was the wrong stuff. It was because I had nothing, I wanted material shit and experiences. So
you'll do, didn't you?
So I got into it in bad intention. That was it. It wasn't good intention, it wasn't bad intention, but it was just for my job. I thought, right, I was a great salesman, I was missing 20% of the marketplace. I was thinking, I want all my bonuses for my, you know, to get the money. It was just about money, that was it. And so I went and done an NLP course, and my governor in Germany looked up which ones. He said, there's some shit ones out there, some go about tree hugging and shit. And let me make sure I got a good one. So he never spoke like that, but you know, we looked into it, and we found this course in the Cotswolds. I'd done the diploma course, right? So I went in to learn about the mind. I was like Darren Brown, manipulating people for more money and all that. And I went into it, mate, but I was an insecure, low self-worth kid. You know, I come from fuck all. And I was dyslexic with ADHD. It's the first time I've been in a classroom since I was 14. I sat right at the back, fucking insecure, middle class people. You got me and my fucking accent. And mate, that diploma course changed my life already. What I learned in that, because it wasn't what I expected. I'm not ripping myself to shreds, looking inside myself, because to learn it you have to go in yourself really. And mate, the things I let go of, the things I see differently, and I become obsessed. And straight away, it was like overnight, I didn't give a fuck about the sales anymore. I knew I was going to be the best. I didn't have much further to go anyway. No one could touch me in the country. So I just got into the mind, and the more I learned about the mind, the more I was reframing my values and my beliefs and dropping all my limiting beliefs, and it was such a life-changing experience, and I've become addicted. So I went and studied with all the world's best in California, from Robert Dills to Stephen Gilligan, who's the last hypnotist to train under Milton Erickson, and there's loads of them I've trained with, yeah, and I just spent every penny. But at this time, remember, I'm working, I've got kids, a mortgage, and I'm still trying to fucking, and all my money was going to that, you know, getting debt for it, and I become obsessed. The people don't see, like all these therapists there go and do a little course and they try to, you know, be successful. They don't know what I've been through to get it, you know. It was hard, I lost everything at one point, you know, and I still had this vision of being the next Paul McKenna in the UK, but not like him. I wanted to be a cockney. I thought, I'm being myself, I don't fucking change it for no one. And that was the vision. Everyone went, you can't do that. I said, I don't give a fuck what you think. I can see that's what's going to happen. And now, I'm like a fucking swearing therapist. I mean, I don't care. I got people, I don't like you swearing. I go, I don't fucking need you. Like, you need me. I'm sweet with who I am. I'm happy swearing.
I mean, someone like myself, I'd be more trusting to go to a therapist like yourself and feel more at home.
I don't give you bollocks. I'll tell you the truth.
Yeah.
You know, I don't just sit there and judge you and psychoanalyse you. Because it's pointless. Putting your focus on the past. We need to get your mind reframed to the future. And everything I'll teach, I've been through, and everything that I'll teach other people, I've applied to my life, and my success is already there. Do you know what I mean? And you know, we put this manifestation journal together to help people so they can practice their visualizations and their affirmations and their daily goals and mind dumping, get all the crap out of your head, and at the end of the day, having a look back at, you know, how much effort you really put in and being honest with yourself. And you know, that's what my dream is, to help others. And what I learned is with Robert Dilts. The day of my life really changed was when I was studying for a few years, and I learned that he stripped me back from all material things. Like, what do you want to be, Rob? What would you, what would you have? I want a big house, I want a mansion, I want to be in California, I want a car, I want a Rolex, I want this, I want that, I want my kids to have this, my kids. And then he was going to me, what else would you want? I went, I'll have that. What else would you want? I want another Rolex. What do you want? And all of a sudden, I was thinking, he fucking keeps getting on my nerves, the cunt. What about this cunt, right? I was getting angry with him, right? So he kept on and asked me the same question. I went, he went, now you've got everything material, yeah?
What do you want?
What would make you happy?
Yeah.
And that was it. And I discovered, myself, it was the hardest question I've ever had to answer, stripped back from anything material. And I went, I like seeing making other people smile. Like if I make myself look a div to see you laugh, I'll give someone my last 20 quid and walk home.
Yeah.
And I found my core value, and I realised that I had so much low self-worth. I don't want no one else to feel what I felt. So and he said to me, he said, Rob, the things that cause you your most pain in your life is your gift to help others. And that day it resonated with me, and I thought, that's it. I know what I'm going to do. And that was the day I stopped thinking about work, stopped thinking about earning money for the rock. It was all about helping people and seeing myself successful. And with that comes money and success anyway, because you're in alignment. I call it alignment. So, and that's how I got into it, Dan. So it wasn't with a good intention, but it turned out to be the best intention and the best thing I ever done. So, you know,
it takes a while to realise that shit. I've got a pal now who's like, he's been doing a bit of online tutoring now. He might go and do a bit. He's making great money, and he might go in and do teaching and take a pay cut just to do it, just because he loves
doing it. Yeah.
Yeah, and he didn't realise he didn't realise the worth you get from it. Like,
you found your enlightenment. You know, it ain't about financial gains all the time. You know, you can get a teacher at school. Majority of teachers done it because they're fucking so academic. They've got no creativity, and you go, why did you become a teacher? A lot of them go, oh, I was good at maths, so I thought I'd become a maths teacher.
And they're the ones who none of their kids like, and they don't have a good time.
Which is like 80%. But then you get the one who loves teaching. Yeah. She'll be a bit stricter than the other ones, but you still have more respect for her, because she'll still be fun. And then, but she wanted to teach, and she, you know, to normally like a weird one, knits their own jumpers and shit. But like, you know, they found the enlightenment of life. They wanted to be a teacher since they were a kid. They're a teacher, and they love every minute of it. The other ones do it for money.
You've seen that teaching, Educating Yorkshire, or one of them ones? Have you seen the show?
No.
It's like a reality show, but it goes behind the scenes with all the kids, different age groups in like school.
I like to see that.
And like teachers. But it's quality, but you watch it and you just, because you know, from a kid's perspective, you remember how good school was. Like for me personally anyway, it was like, you would just, the whole community in the school was just quality, like everyone's having banter or whatever, and you had them teachers like that. I look back now and I think a couple of these teachers, like, they come in, they were just chaps, lads, like teachers, whatever.
You loved them, didn't you?
And they were quality, but I think even for them, they loved it, the banter they could have with us.
Yeah.
And then you watch it and you think...
But you perform well for them, you do what they tell you. You want to
make them... they're the ones as well give you a dig, like, they were they'll put you in an headlock from behind, like... But I can see why if you are that way inclined, you are a social person, whatever, a school can be a great place to be around. Obviously, you've got harder schools and whatever, but if you're on a level with people, then you can...
Yeah, you can. I was good with the kids at school. I loved the kids, but I was so bad. I'm dyslexic with ADHD, which wasn't even a thing back then. ADHD.
Yeah.
I was always getting in trouble for silly, like being mischievous, not horrible, but like just disruptive and shit. I hated school. I couldn't wait to leave, mate. To be honest, but I did like the banter of bunking school with the kids and all the stuff, getting naughty. And I loved all that stuff, but the actual sitting in the classroom to do my nutting, mate. It was like that was just my ADHD though. So
no, I'm not diagnosed, but I'm that way. Like somewhere on that spectrum, OCD as well. I'm fucking think, but so as far as the same, I was like, all I would do is, mate, and that's all I'd ever really get in trouble for, is just talking all the time, mate. People are, and they'd always go to me, "You're a cunt," really. Well, they wouldn't say that, but they say you're a cunt because you know you're learning. You don't even have to be fucking listening, and you're learning. You've got good memory, and you're fucking everyone else's thing up. I'm just trying to have a laugh.
It's probably sometimes
I said they're fucked anyway. They ain't gonna learn fuck all. Let's have a laugh with them.
Was Mickey Flanagan? The school makes people that carries the boxes to the van. Not one geezer's been a van driver from this school ever. Right, thank you very much for coming, Dan, mate. It's been such a pleasure having you here, bruv. And we've got a little song that we're going to be putting together, so watch out for it, yeah? It's never too late, all right?
It ain't too late. It's never too late for nothing. Crack on.
So, thanks for joining us at the MindKite podcast, and we'd like to see you again back here next week, same time. See you soon. God bless you all.